Hi everyone. Today's card making is a little treat. I've designed a layout that I haven't seen before, so I'm going to share that with you and make a card. I pulled out the Just Saying Festive Sentiments. This is going to be a Christmas card. It doesn't have to be a Christmas card, it can be whatever you want it to be. If you use different papers, obviously you can turn this into a birthday card, anniversary card, whatever you choose. So as I said, I've just pulled out the Just Saying Festive Sentiments. I'm going to be using a sentiment from there. I pulled out the sentiment medallion wrap, Oh Christmas Tree, and I'm going to have the sentiment on the front, Christmas wishes. I pulled out the Twiddly Bit dies, the Berry Sprig dies, yep, the Berry Sprig dies, and the Pierced Holly Sprig dies. And I've also pulled out the Delicate Poinsettia dies, and all those products are from Sentimentally Yours. So just pop that to one side. I've already gone ahead and cut out my bits to save time, and I've already cut out my card base and everything. I'll go through that with you as we go along. The paper pad that I've chosen is Festive Foliage, and the papers that I pulled out was this one here and this one down here. So there's some really pretty papers in this pack. And if I just show you the two that I pulled out, this is the tiny bits that I've got left over. So it was the Holly Sprigs and the Poinsettias. And for the base cardstock, I'm using Creolando cardstock, and I get this from Lidl's in the UK. And this is really beautiful cardstock. This is 270 GSM, and you get 25 sheets. Now these are a lot bigger than A4. They're 24 by 34 centimeters. So they really do go a long way, and I would say they were more of a construction weight. The nice thing that I really like about this cardstock, it's got the solid core, so there's no white core with this. It's actually made in Germany. So if you're ever in Lidl's and you see the Creolando coloured card, grab yourself a pack. I think it was about £3 for a pack of 25. Anyway, so if we take in all my bits, which I've already got prepared, the base card, I'm using a really pretty gold satin cardstock, and this is A4 in width, scored down the middle, and I actually cut that down then to 6 inches. So it's A4 by 6 inches. I've got myself another piece, and this again is A4 in width, and I cut that down to 2 1/4 inches. So that's that piece. And then the last piece in the gold satin, again A4 in width, and I cut that down to 1 1/4 inches. So the three pieces of gold satin are what makes our card base. My first matte layer for the main base, I've got the green, the red, and then the pattern piece. So again, just dropping down in 1/4 inch sizes, 5 1/2 inches square. The red piece, which is my next matte layer, 5 1/4 by 5 1/4 square, and then the top pattern piece is 5 by 5. So that's all the main base pieces. And then for the strips, the patterned papers that I've got, I've already glued these together, and I've matte and layered all those. I am going to matte and layer these for you in a minute. The smaller one for the smaller strip, the 1 1/4 strip, so this one is 1 inch. The red one is 3/4, and then the patterned one is half. So the green one is 5 1/2, in length. The red one is 5¼ and then the pattern one is 5 inches. So it's all the mats and layers are going down by 1/4 inch. And then I've got myself a piece of white cardstock for the inside, and this measures 5 3/4 by 5½. And this is the piece that I'm going to be working on first. I want to do the inside of the card before I do anything else with this one. So if I take in the stamp set that I want to use, and I'm going to have Believe in the Magic of Christmas. I think that's quite a nice magical stamp. So if I get that one down on my glass mat, pick that up with my stamping block. I'm going to use the VersaFine Onyx Black for this. And I need to make sure actually I get that the right way. Yeah, so that's the right way up. And on the center of this, I'm just going to stamp Believe in the Magic of Christmas. There we go. Give that one a nice clean up. And we can pop that one straight back. That's that stamp set finished with. Okay, so I've already gone ahead and put my tear tape on the back. Just make sure that's dry. So I've taken a pokey tool. I'm going to take my backings halfway. I'm going to remove the center one. And we're going to get this in before we go any further. And the reason I'm doing it like this today is because the outside has got the floating layers. So if I open that up to do the card inside, it means I might ruin the floating layers. So I'm just going to get this down. As you know, I don't normally do the insides first, but today that's what we're doing. Remove those backings. Give that a press down, and that's the inside of our card done. So I'm just going to pop that to one side. I'm going to take back in all my bits. Now I've already mat and layered and put the foam tape on this strip. So if we remove those backings, on one side, just line that up and get that one down. So that's our first floating panel done. With the smaller strip, I've put the foam tape on the back, but I now need to glue the red strip to the green strip. So a nice amount of glue on the back of there. We get that one nicely lined up. And then again with our patterned piece, tiny bit of glue on the back of there, and we'll get that one lined up. There we go. So that's those mats and layers on, and now this can go on the front of this piece. So if we remove back in from there, get that one nicely lined up, and that's both our floating panel pieces done. Okay, so if we bring back in our card, matte layer, I put the foam tape on. I'm going to glue the top layer turn that around and see what that looks like. Yeah, absolutely fine. So that's that one. And then again, both of these can now be glued to the base green piece. So that's that piece done. And as I say, I've already put the foam tape on the back of there. So if I remove all these backings halfway, and this is now going to go onto the front of the card. And then if we take that center one completely off, to get this one nicely lined up, I've got quite a nice border going on with this one. I wanted to see quite a nice amount of that gold. Get that one down, and then we can remove our backings. So that's our base card done. Not only have we done the front, we've done the inside, and a sentiment on there, and that would be all you would need. But what I'd like to do with this is this first one. I'm going to line this one up with the top. So I'm going to pop some glue all over the back of this piece. And I'm going to go just shy of the bottom because I am going to be chopping that down a little bit. And roughly, make sure you've got your card the right way round, and roughly center. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just line that up with the edge of the green. And give that a nice press down. Now you will find that this is slightly longer. Now the front piece I don't mind being longer, but this bottom piece I'm gonna just cut that in line with the base of the card. Now the reason I don't mind the front piece being longer is because when this opens up, this will stand and fanned out, whereas if we'd have had the bottom piece the same length, the card would have stood facing forward. So now we need to do the same with this piece. This piece is going to go on top of this piece, and we're going to take that again from the green, so right to the top and just shy of the bottom with the glue. I'm going to pop this in the center of this panel and get that nicely lined up. And now you'll find that that top one, we don't need to do anything with that one if we don't want to, but I think this looks a little bit odd. So again, with this one, I'm going to turn this over and you'll see your steps of your cardstock going down. I'm going to just line that up with the first matte layer, but I'm going to leave the front the length that it is. So this actually now, I don't know if we can see that, but that actually now fans out, which is lovely. So that's exactly how I want to leave that. I'm going to pop that to one side to dry. I'm going to take in my foam board and I'm going to bring in my poinsettias, turn those over, and with my ball tool I am just going to give the tips of the poinsettias a little bit of shape, not too much. I'm going to turn those over and give them a nice squash in the middle. And now with the glue we can layer those up. So there's our first one. That squashed down. And there's the next layer. So this has got 4 layers. You don't have to do 4, you can do 2, you can have them singular, 3, you can do as many as you like. And that's the last one. So there's our poinsettia. And before we go any further with this, I'm going to pop a nice amount of glue in the middle, more than you need. So a nice blob. I'm going to take in, I think this is the 5mm size white pearl. With my pickup tool, I'm going to pick up that, pop that in and give that a nice press down, and you'll find that the glue seeps out. So I take in the glitter. Give that a little glitter up. We've now got our pearl with some glitter around the outside. Now with all our bits and pieces that we cut out, seem to be all over the place. I'm going to give my holly leaves some shape. And the berries, give them a little bit of shape. So I think I've cut 4 lots of berries, 2 holly sprigs and 3 twiddly bits. Take back in our card. I'm going to get some glue on the back of this one. And this poinsettia is going to sit just there. I give that a squash down. Not only will it squash out the glue with the glitter on, get that stuck to the card. And then it's just a case of popping in our leaves. That first one's going to go under there. Give that one a press down. And this one I'm going to have come in this way, but I am going to snip that one down a little bit. Some glue on the back of there. And this one is going to go under. Give that one a squash down. So there's our holly with our berries. Put some glue on there. I'm going to have one berry going just up there. Some glue on the back of that one. This one is going to go under just there. Give that one a squeeze down. So you can see we're building this up quite nicely already. I think the next thing I want to do is some twiddly bits. These are quite difficult to shape, but give them a little bit of shape. Chop the bottom off there. This one's going to go just under there. So you could actually bring that out more on an angle. Give that one a press down. This one's a little bit smaller, so just pop some glue on the back of there. Lift up our poinsettia and pop that one down. There's that one. And now it's just a case of infilling, so where you think you'd like things to go. And we could pop that one there. This one's going to go under just there. That one is squashed down. And then I've got one more twiddly bit, which I think we'll have on this side. Let me chop that one down a little bit. Try and give that a tiny bit of shape. Some glue on the back of that one. And we'll get that one just there. There we go. So there's, oh, we've got another holly left. That one could actually go up in the middle. Right, so this one's going to sit just under there. With the berries, you can leave them white, you can do whatever you like with them, you can colour them in. I think those are a bit big. We do have a couple that are quite big, so I think I'll put one on that one. I'm not going to do them all. I think that one there was quite big, so I'll pop one on that one. Pop one on that one. There's that one. Quite weighty as well, these gems. I think that'll do for those. Now I need to do my sentiment for the front. So what I chose for the front was Christmas wishes. And I think the inside follows on quite nicely with the Christmas wishes sentiment. So we take those out. Now I'd like this to be one sentiment. So get those nicely lined up. Taking my stamping block, and I thought I would ink this up in the VersaFine, and this is the spruce. Get my stamp all nicely inked up. So ink that one up just there. Christmas wishes. that stamp a nice clean off. And we'll pop that straight back. That's that stamp set and that finished with. And this is for the front of the card. So what I'd like to do with this is just cut this down. I'm going to go along the top, and this one I'm going to go up to the point, I'm going to go down to the point. That's a different, slightly different shape, and that's going to sit across the front. I think that is too long, so we just chop that on a different, slightly different angle. So I know that I need glue between the, basically just between the T and the W. So if I get a tiny bit of glue on the back of there, this one's going to go slightly underneath all my embellishments. Give that one a tiny press down. I don't want to touch it at the moment. Versifying clear ink pads do take a little bit longer to dry. Just double checking that that's straight. And then I thought I would pop 3 gems just going down the middle. And then the very, very last thing I want to do to this card is my red layer going all the way around. Same with this side. And I'm just going to add some glitter. The last place I want to put some glitter is just on the tips of the poinsettia. So on every petal tip, just a tiny, tiny bit of glue. And there's a really, really pretty Christmas card. I'm really quite pleased with that. Believe in the magic of Christmas. I really love the colours. Really old-fashioned looking Christmas card. Well, I hope you enjoyed my little video. Something a little bit different. Anyway, thank you for watching. And until the next time. Bye for now.